Hello, dear students. Today we will discuss the textual questions. The textual questions of the lesson, that is the Ghat of the only world. It is your eighth lesson from prose section. Eighth lesson from the prose section. The Ghat of the only world. It has been written by Amitabh Ghosh in the memory of Aga Shahid Ali. Aga Shahid Ali. Aga Shahid Ali was his friend. So both were living in America, and Aga Shahid Ali was suffering from the cancer. He told his friend that you must write something about me, about Aga Shahid Ali after his death. So the writer kept his promise. In this chapter, he writes about Shahid as he knew him. He gives here a brief chronology of Shahid's life and his acquaintance with him. These things I will not discuss with here. I will discuss some important questions uh, from your lesson. You will One important question is, how does Shahid face death? Describe the hospital scene. It is very important question. How does Shahid face death? Describe the hospital scene. Shahid knew about his approaching death. He was never scared of death. He took it calmly. He was even very philosophical about it. He once said to the writer, I love to think that I will meet my mother in the hereafter, after death. Once before his death, Shahid was in hospital for surgical procedure. When it was time to leave the hospital, Scott Iqbal arrived with a wheelchair. Shahid waved him away. He said that he was strong enough to walk out of the hospital on his own, but he was weaker than he had. That means by conviction he was strong, by courage he was strong, but physically he was very weak. His knees buckled after a few steps. Akbar ran back for the wheelchair, leaning against the hospital wall. This Aga Shahid Ali was leaning against the hospital wall. A kind of joy came upon Shahid. When the hospital orderly returned with the wheelchair, Shahid gave him a smile and asked him where he was from. The man said that he was from Spain. The man said he was from Spain. Shahid clapped his hands and said at the top of his voice, I always wanted to learn Spanish just to read Lorca, very famous Spanish poet and dramatist. Who is James Merrill? Who is James Merrill? It is another important question. He is a poet who radically changed Shahid's style of writing poetry. Now Shahid started experimenting with the strict metrical patterns and verse forms. So it is very another important question. Next important question: who facilitated Ghosh to fulfill his pledge? How did it help him? Who facilitated Ghosh to fulfill his pledge? Uh, how did it help him? Ghosh had pledged to Shahid that he would write about him after his death. To fulfill this pledge, Ghosh started keeping a record of every moment that he spent with Shahid. He also gathered all the he also collected all the information that he could about Shahid's life. All this helped him to fulfill his pledge. Next important question: how was Shahid's reputation? How was Shahid's reputation as a teacher among students? Among his students, yes. Shahid's students adored him very much. They loved him very much. They respected him very much. They were very much influenced. They were very much inspired by Shahid. They held him in deep love and respect. For some time, he taught at Mahantas Burj College. When he was to leave this college, the students printed a magazine. When who was when Shahid was about to leave this college. The students printed a magazine and dedicated the issue to him. These were some main questions which I discussed with you, and then we are having other questions here which we will discuss in the next lecture. Thank you. God bless you for.